Remember, our president fails to recognize the opposition leader. This is the same thing Joho is also trying to imply. Remember, he's an incumbent, and he would like also to retain his power. So, and also we all know the frustrations which Jubilee government has given to Joho, and Joho is now trying to show his power.
But
so
Dennis,
to me, Joho is very right.
Dennis, what does it have to do with the rest of the candidates?
The rest of the candidates, remember, Joho is the CEO in Mombasa.
So?
Is the CEO. And we all know, as a matter of fact, if someone tries to invade your territory, you will always try to protect your territory. So this is what exactly Joho is trying to do. So to me, I support Joho for what he's doing. There is no problem with that.
Hello.
So this would be the perfect opportunity to have the Mombasa governor, Ali Hassan Joho, clear his name and set the record straight. He's on phone right now. Mheshimiwa, good afternoon. Good to speak to you. Let's talk about this row that is currently playing out in Mombasa over billboards. Fingers are being pointed in your direction. Did you at any point instruct anyone not to put up billboards of your opponents?
First of all, Linda, let me say that I'm really surprised that someone would even imagine that the governor would have a say in who puts what billboard on the road, on the streets of Mombasa. The billboards belong to private companies, and I personally booked my space beginning of the year. I have paid for my space, and that's why I have probably the most strategic places in Mombasa, because I knew for a long time that I was going to run for an election in August, and therefore I needed to prepare myself. But the point I want to make is that this really is sideshows for me, and I am not going to engage anybody on this issue. My position is that as I am governor, I am also a candidate. And the advertisement in Mombasa is guided by a certain policy. You just can't erect an infrastructure that is not approved. All we are saying is that there are already licensed companies that do advertisement. I'm urging anybody who wants to run, who wants to advertise, whether political, whether business, to just go to the companies. We can't allow a candidate who will say, I want to have 50 billboards, then the other will do 50. As it is, the city is already cluttered, and we are doing all that we can to clean it up. So we can't have haphazard billboards being put up all over. I'm asking my brothers, please just go to companies that are already licensed. There are many billboards in Mombasa that you can use. What happens to the infrastructure that you put up after election? Would you want to take it away, or would you bring it down?
Governor?
I did not put up any infrastructure myself. I paid companies to put up billboards. So really, it's nothing to do with the governor or the election. It's basically what needs to be done right.
Governor, it's interesting that you say we have outdoor advertising companies that these candidates should go to, but then we also have some of the candidates on record specifically saying that some of the outdoor advertisers got specific instructions from your office not to put up their billboards. So a direct question to you. Did you instruct any outdoor advertising companies not to put up the billboards of your competitors?
Linda, it would matter if you've told me that the advertisers on record saying that governor told them not to put anybody's advert up. But I know for a fact, for example, I took time to call the advertisers to ask them what is going on. And they told me they have Jubilee flexes that are about to go up. They were just on the final designs to put them up. So first of all, we're liberal in the economy. There is no way a governor can have a role in running a private company. Advertisement did not start with me, neither will it end with me. So the point is that this is all sideshows. people trying to gain political mileage.
Okay,
they will not succeed in this. I urge them again, just go to the companies. I am aware that there's spaces that are available. The only thing they need to do is to go and pay. For example, the site where the billboard was removed is outside the school. And we have a policy in Mombasa that we can't advertise outside any school. For the reason that tomorrow, if we have a billboard that advertises beer, how do we have control?
All right, Mr. Governor, so in other words, what you're telling me is that you have absolutely no problem with your competitors having their billboards anywhere in Mombasa as long as they follow the right procedure. As
long as they follow the policy that is in place. And one of it is that they are already licensed companies that they can use. Let them just go and pay and use them. You can't complain about how many billboards I have. I have booked and I have proof of payment. I paid some of them as early as January. So why are you complaining that Hassan Joho has many billboards like that desk office of Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta forgets that he's just a public servant and he needs to serve as equally immaterial of who is in government to say that those billboards don't bring food. I mean, that's just a joke.
Governor, if you may, please stay on the line with me because just before you called in, we were speaking to Hezron Awiti Bolo. He's also a candidate in the upcoming general election, a gubernatorial candidate. Mr. Bolo, we've just been speaking to Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho. So A, he says he has absolutely no problem with any other candidate having their billboards anywhere in Mombasa. And then two, he says we have outdoor advertising companies whose major role is to handle the billboards. He has nothing to do with it. His office has nothing to do with some of the allegations that are being leveled against him. What are your thoughts?
First of all, I follow the procedure. I've written a letter to the governor office. I have the records. I talked to CS in charge of the county, Mr. Thoya.
Okay.
Which I say that if it's crowded because somebody's already been booked the space, we should be allowed to maybe to put a billboard for temporary use for a month. It is very clear that we are competing with the governor.
Fine. It's clear you're competing with the governor.
I go ahead and call the governor. He refused to pick my phone. I sent the message also.
Mheshimiwa, it's interesting that you mentioned the governor. He's
no
online.
Reply.
Listen, it's very interesting that you say you tried to get through to the governor and you're not able to. He's on the line with me right now. What exactly did you want to tell him? You can actually pass your message across because he's on the line.
Thank you, Linda. Can I get a chance?
Thank you, Linda. Can I get a chance to talk to my governor because he's still a governor of the day.
So what did you want to tell him? He's on the line.
Can you ask him if we can...
Ask him. He's on the line.
As a governor, he's in charge of the county.
Mheshimiwa, Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho, he's on the line. He can hear you. Please ask him the question that you wanted to ask him. He can hear you.
My brother Ali Hassan Joho, are you in charge of the county?
Bwana Bolo, would you ask a direct question with respect to the billboards that are being erected in Mombasa, please, so that he can answer and address your concerns?
My question is number one.
My question is number one. If he's in charge of the county and other leaders calling him, he needs to pick the phone.
You're still not posing a direct question to the governor. Do you have a direct question that you want to ask him?
I've written a letter to governor. I need a reply whether I can get the space to put my billboard. If I cannot be given a chance with the providers.
Mr. Governor, can you hear me? Linda, I can hear you, and that is where we're getting it wrong. I mean, nobody writes the governor to ask to put up a billboard. I mean, that's not what I do. You know, let's just be serious of this. You need to go to the advertisers. You know, somebody needs to go to advertise and just pay for it and put up your billboard. Why are you calling me to ask me to put up a billboard? That's not how we do business in Mombasa. I mean, everything that we do in Mombasa is anchored in our law. And therefore, I cannot, myself as governor, I cannot bend the law in Mombasa. And therefore, my brother, whoever wants to put up, just go ahead and look for advertisers. And I can tell you, some of them are called Magnet, outside. There are many. And I spoke to them. There's a lot of space that is free. You know, let's forget about these political sideshows. You know, they won't help anybody.
Leader, we elect the leader to ask our leader question if I'm stranded.
And
he's not our boss, he's a servant, he's serving the people.
And if you're stranded...
So if he doesn't want to serve the people, he should quit and go.
Mheshimiwa, in all fairness, he's actually answered you. He says you need to reach out to advertisers. He has absolutely no problem with you putting your billboards anywhere. And he says just follow the right procedure. He has absolutely no problem with you putting up your billboards. So is that an option you're willing to take?
Linda, I did this. I did it. I have evidence. If you want me to produce all the correspondence which put in...
Okay.
I can produce it to you, so I have nowhere to go. That's why I decided to go to my governor office to assist me.
Want to pick my phone.
And he doesn't want to pick my phone.
All right.
And I send the message again.
All right, so let me speak to Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho. Mheshimiwa, Awiti Bolo says he hears you and what you're saying, but he says he's stuck. He needs help from you.
So you're asking me to help my opponent to get publicity?
No, I'm not asking you to.
Very interesting. But Linda, let me say this.
Yeah.
Any other candidate, Jubilee or whatever party, they have the right to advertise anywhere in Mombasa. Let me begin by saying they have their posters all over Mombasa. Nobody has complained about it. I don't have a single poster. I'm not making any noise. The only thing that needs to be done is that follow the right procedure. It is as simple as that. Just go to the companies, pay for your space, and do what? And get your service that you're asking for. It is not in my hands.
Okay.
I'm just a governor and a candidate. I mean, how do you expect me to put up my opponents or to help an opponent to put up a billboard? Really? I mean, serious?
No, maybe he just wants you to guide him and show him what you did to get yours up there. But thank you.
Okay, I'll help him. I went to a company called Magnet outside, and there's another one called Petro, and paid them. It's as simple as that. I paid them. They gave me a quotation. I paid for the service. I gave them my designs, and they put up the billboards. So that's what he needs to do.
Governor, the county commissioner in Mombasa has actually reacted to this whole story. I'm not so sure if you've heard what he said, but he says, you have your billboards after every 3 meters in Mombasa. Did you listen into his reaction to this whole story?
If there was space to put billboards every 2 meters, I would have done it if I could. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't want to react to the county commissioner. You ni noisemaker wa kawaida tu.
Haya basi mheshimiwa, twashukuru sana.
Let him say whatever he wants to say. Thank you. And thank you for this opportunity to clarify this, because it's making news for no reason. I mean, somebody just needs to do the right thing.
I hear you, sir. So to be clear, you have absolutely no problem with your opponents having their billboards anywhere in Mombasa, and all they just need to do is to look out for outdoor advertising companies and follow procedure. Then they will have their billboards in Mombasa, right? Okay, so that is Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho. We still have Mheshimiwa Hezron Awiti Bolo. Mheshimiwa, so Ali Hassan Joho, Mombasa Governor, says the ball is in your court. You can follow procedure, ensure you have your billboards